everybody, and welcome to our very first episode of a dating simulator. I believe it's called. It's in the corner. It's right over here. It's called Our Life, and it's basically I feel like it's a coming of age type of video game, and I don't want a explanation. Oh, sorry, I forgot how to click. But yeah, it's a dating simulator, and you're just growing together with this guy next door. I did play a little bit of the game, but it wasn't like I fell asleep. I definitely fell asleep. Okay, that's cute. That's cute. That's very white. Peachy's fine. Kind of like the sharp eyes. Let's do sharp. I like that. Purple. I'm gonna stick with black, most likely. Yeah, let's stick with black. And our name is going to be Gray, because I have to download a voice map package or whatever. So the character we're trying to seduce here, which is an 8-year-old boy. I shouldn't have said that. But the character we're trying to seduce here can say her name. Gray Parker. That's the name. Change page. We can add birthmarks. I like the beauty mark, but it looks too much like her eyelash. And we can use scars. Ooh. Rosy cheeks. Freckles. I'm not doing any of that. Hand size. Chubby. She's gonna have some slender hands. Glasses. Glasses definitely don't cover her eyes, but I could definitely add a birthmark to her leg. And she can wear dresses, pants, skirts, shorts, whatever she wants to wear. Bracelet, necklaces, watches, but no hats. No hats. Gray Parker. We're done. I apologize if I sniffle even a little bit. My nostrils are still, stuffed. So, I apologize in advance. Okay. And I apologize for any heavy breathing you may hear. Okay. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of year. Your usually sleepy town began to bustle. Can I put space? Okay. It was a popular tourist destination with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and the relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of schoolless vacation with it. During the summer, your moms didn't like you to wander too far outside of your neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included the people. Families came and went from Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mom called putting down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing their stores. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved or asked how your family was, or most often just said hello. Okay. My God. I also apologize if you hear my TV in the background. I did put it down to volume 4, but this microphone likes to pick up on everything. Oh, my nose. All this stuffed. So in this game, Gray is going to be more like a shy kid. So we were too anxious to say hi back to most of those other residents that greeted you, but they all knew you well enough to expect that. They still smiled. They still smiled at you anyway, and that made you feel a little more comfortable. But today, there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. He was sitting there with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person, or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. Whoever, or whatever he was, you had never seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that the people who you didn't recognize really stood out. Okay, that made sense to my word. I said that wrong. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your moms would call it. So, for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your moms had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. So, first option, you hadn't exactly been listening at the time. You think it could be okay to talk to new people. They mentioned that some people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you if you don't know them. You remember that it is okay to run away if you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to worry about being polite then. I just put, they mentioned that some people aren't too good, to talk to. You weren't sure about this man yet. Still, you felt a bit scared about knowing he was blocking your way to your front door, but you were pretty interested. You wanted to know more about what was going on. Whether he was nice or not, you didn't want to be bothered, so you were scared that he was blocking the way to your front door. You slowed down, your mind racing for ideas on how to get past him, unseen, but it was too late to escape. There was a split second where your eyes meet, and you took in a shaky breath. Your eyes were darting to the sky, pretending to stare at a bird who was hovering nearby. Hey, that's the voice. Hey! His voice startled you and made you jump, but you still didn't look at him. The bird landed on top of a nearby gatepost, and its black feathers ruffled against the gentle breeze. Trying to keep your eyes on it was tough, especially when the man stood up and started to make his way toward you. Not wanting to seem too approachable, you fold your arms and stare. Still unsure about him, but willing to be friendly, you offer the stranger a smile. Your whole body was frozen in place as he approached. We're gonna go with this option, because I'm trying to go off with this shy character, Gray. He already voiced it, that's fine. Do you live around here? What's your name? You look the man up and down, taking in his tan skin and relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed, the way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for you to answer his question. Yeah, I live here. Or, I live right there. My name is Gray. You continued to say nothing. Let's say, yeah, I live here. Because you're blocking the entrance to my house. That's great. He looked happy to hear it, giving you a broad smile. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It was crinkled in his hand as he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him. Could you do me a favor? Nothing bad. Sorry, I should have... Let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it just makes him look creepier. I have a son. His name is Cove, who's about your age. Cove. That seemed like a strange name for an actual living person to you. You chewed on the inside of your cheek. This guy is definitely obsessed with water. You thought that was pretty cool. He's obsessed with water. He wasn't the only person like that in Sunset Bird. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured towards the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. You must be Gray Parker, right? I met your moms earlier and they told me you were 8 just like him, so... He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting his lips at the corners. Can you try to be friends with the boy? Give it a chance and you can keep this. He's a good kid. You'll like him. But you've got to keep it a secret, too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. I'm gonna run away. Alright, you eyed the man. You kind of felt sorry for Cove. Did other kids really get their parents to pay for their friendships? This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends. You knew that. What'd you say? Want to make a deal? Run away. You spun around and make a break for it. Stranger danger! No thanks, old man. You don't offer any explanation. You just focus on getting away. Stranger danger! You turned on the spot and bolted down the street, ignoring his calls behind you. Hey! Come back. I'm sorry if I scared you. I don't know how else to ask. The soles of your shoes slapped against the concrete sidewalk as you ran, heat from the sun warm on your face. Step 1, first sight. Eventually his shouting faded into the distance. You let yourself slow down and try to catch your breath, wiping the sweat from your forehead with the back of your hand. The chirping of crickets and tall, dry grass echoed around you, and you lifted your head to survey your surroundings. You went right into the hills behind your house's backyard. From here, you could probably get back inside without seeing that guy again. There was a loose plank on the back of the fence, too small to fit through, but you could try waving to Lizzie for help. The fence was pretty high, but if you stood on the neighbor's shorter fence post first, you might be able to pull yourself over. You would be able to hide out here until he left, and then you'd go through the front door. Let's do the fence was pretty high. That's the one I chose last time. Your moms wouldn't want you doing something like that, but it was an emergency. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try to relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone, so you glanced around. There was a boy sitting at the top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him for a minute longer, feeling a little bit like you found a deer in the wild. Though deer didn't have green hair, sad frowns. I'm pretty sure deer can frown. Pink casts, huge glasses, wavy eyebrows, green hair. Because deer don't have eyebrows to begin with, so... But this new boy did. You watched as it fluttered softly around his face in the breeze. After a few more seconds, he took a step forward, then another, and then he glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show him you weren't scary. Hi. Hey, Space Cadet. Are you lost? Let's do Are You Lost? Because we know this is Cove. With the start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling to a fist at his sides. He didn't say anything. He just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaking them in the hem of his shorts. And his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. He was your age, but he didn't look familiar. Maybe he was that boy that weird new neighbor had been talking about before you ran. The only way you actually know was to ask. Who are you? I've never seen you. What's your name anyway? You waited for him to say something. Let's wait for him. He sniffled a little, rubbing at his ruddy cheeks before he finally spoke. My name's Cove. Oh, they said it. You could see him hesitate, shifting his eyes to the side and then back to you again. My dad and me, and I hate that sentence. My dad and I, but I guess not, he's 8. My dad and me, we moved here. Your guess was confirmed. So, is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the path of the grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. I totally forgot what voice I gave him. You can't own a hill. You shook your head. Yep. You can't own a hill. Why not? How could you? You just do. I had a hill back home. Well, this still isn't mine. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, he sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered the hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. What did I just read? I was not paying attention. I didn't even understand what I just read. I didn't even comprehend it. I don't even know what the sentence was about. My phone! Okay. The night wind was cool as it traveled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here? Why'd your family move? Let's ask why are you here? Because, we don't know anything about his family. We're just gonna pretend we don't know nothing about his family, that we just met this poor kid. A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as he asked the question. Almost like they never stopped, his tears started back up again with vengeance. My parents, they don't want to live together with me anymore. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave, and he took me with him, and now we have the house here, and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I wanted my real life back. I want my mom. I'm sorry. You'll like it here. You'll just have to get used to it. Stop crying. I'm sorry. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again for another long crying fit. You felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what it would be like. You couldn't imagine what it would feel like living with only one of your moms, but it must be pretty hard. But from way off in the distance, you hear your parents. Gray! Yeah, the voice actor's a little weird. Kids, where'd you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here. I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. You can handle it. You have to go. Don't worry so much. Sorry, I have to. It'll be okay. Let's say it'll be okay. You were struck by a sudden need to reassure Curve. It isn't gonna be all fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself up to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? I don't remember the voices I gave the dad. He looked towards the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his not bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. You waited silently with him. Oh no, you tried to convince him? I'll try to convince him. Are you sure? You'd have to stay outside the whole night and sleep on wet grass. Before Cove could say anything else, you hear his dad's voice again, even closer than before. There you are, bud. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you, and they rushed over. Both of your moms were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Gray, you're here after all. I'm giving the same voice. We had been looking at the park to check for Cove, and then we heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbor. I thought you might have gone off further away. No, we're just sitting here in the grass. Why is everyone acting like this is such a big thing? We're okay, don't worry. Cove didn't want to go home just yet. Mommy gave Cove a small smile, and then she turned back to you. Thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? You looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. You shrugged. Yes, I like them. What is that last option? I think I'm gonna marry him. Not in this homosexual household. What are these options? You didn't think that was the right word to describe it, but you weren't sure what else to say to your moms. Finally letting go of the squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you. Why is his eyebrows like that? Thank you very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. What voice did I give this man? Good thing Gray knows this whole area so well. Oh, that was Mommy. She's not even on the screen. Absolutely. We should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove. Bye. Oh, poor Cove. You should have pushed him down the hill. You should have been pushed down the hill. Bring another arm. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading towards the household. Heading towards the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. I tell you what, we'll have a proper play date tomorrow, okay? Oops. Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by and see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? Is Lizzie gonna die? Sure, can I show him his nice stuff? It sounds like words. What does that mean? It sounds like words. You nodded, ducking your head down. Both of your moms laughed, the sounds overlapping into a warm, familiar chorus. Mommy puts her arm around your shoulder and leads you towards the path. Which one's Mommy and Mom? Satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed after a long, exciting day, you follow them home. Oh my gosh, choose your feelings for Cove? This is how you feel towards Cove for this step. It can change in the later steps. I don't want her to develop a crush. They just met, so maybe she's indifferent. Man, I hate this music so much. It like built up really fast. Nervous makes more sense because she's a shy kid. Let's do Nervous. Yeah, that's the thing I'm going for. A shy child. Begin step one. Step one. At nervous fondness? No. Sorry, this is the last one I was playing. Oh, right, yes. I guess so. Nervous fond. Yeah. My feelings for Cove, so her comfort level is nervous, but her interest is fond, because she's shy. She's a shy baby. Man, that was the prologue. Now we're getting into the game? Into the game? Oh, childhood friendship. At the breakfast table the next morning, you finished your food faster than usual. Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you stayed put. Today, just like your mom said promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Oh, Jesus Christ, that smile. Excited to see your new friend again, Gray? I almost called her Gary. You nodded, smiling slightly.
How sweet.
How sweet. I'm so happy he moved in.
Okay.
With that said, are you done with your breakfast? I don't know, am I? What? What is this option? Haha. Haha. I don't know. Am I? You gestured down to the empty dish in front of you, raising your eyebrows dramatically.
Okay.
Okay, we see. Good job. He should be here soon. Cleanup began, and then on cue, there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were at the right place. Still loud though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Gray, could you get it? You're asking your 8-year-old child to answer the door. That just sounds a little dangerous. Wiggling out of your chair without really pushing it back, you made your way to the door. Hey, Parker family. Thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your moms would have called him, and his son were here. Cove looked different in the bright lighting of your living room. And when he wasn't crying. With his dad standing in front of him, and Mom and Mommy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. Pleased to see your new friend again, you smiled at Cove. He smiled back with some hesitation. Every time I see this child, his eyebrows get even more wavier. It's like his eyebrows are waving back at me. You twisted the threaded bracelet on your wrist. You twisted the crystal bead bracelet on your wrist. You twisted the flower bead bracelet on your wrist. You twisted the shell bracelet on your wrist. What? Does this make a difference in anything? Do these choices matter? What is a threaded... Oh, the threaded bracelet. What? Let's do the crystal bead. Oh, well, we're like... They say this place is known for the beach, right? Or like... So wouldn't it make more sense to have a shell bracelet? What type of crystal bead bracelet? Man, I'm overthinking these choices right now. Let's do a shell. It just makes more sense. What the heck, Gray? Inviting boys into your room already? Do you want to see my room?
Okay.
Willingly going into people's rooms too, Cove?
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids. See you later, son. Play nice. You let him into your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. These are your treasures? Okay. I guess. I hope that's not your bed. There are lots of stuffed animals. A cool bed, a window to look out. Man, that's probably her bed. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. Wait, no. Cove is a child. I like this. I drew that. Thank you. I don't. Me too. Thank you. Let's just say thank you. You're welcome. You smiled at him. Mouse off the screen. You smiled at him. You were proud of the particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. He turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the wall. You started to feel a little nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of awkward. You were glad for the company. You hoped he liked your room. You started to feel a bit nervous. Oops, wrong thing. I almost clicked on my other screen. You wanted to say something, but you didn't know what, so you let him keep looking. Then his eyes landed on the tiny box of beach things he'd collected, tucked away by your door. He took a step towards it, before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? A hoard of stuff I found on the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. Yeah. You gestured at the piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of sand. Neat. This is a good collection. You got the sense of his tones that he wasn't just saying it to be nice or to be like Shiloh. Who is Shiloh? The only Shy I know is Shia LaBeouf. He actually meant it. Who the heck is Shiloh? Shiloh's coming over. Shiloh? Okay, finally we get an explanation. My sister's friend. He wants to, meet you. Do I have to see him? It'll be okay, I think. Here, I found this shell in the log, and you pull out the seashell after seashell, explaining where you got each one and holding them up against the light. There were big ones, small ones, pink, purple, and orange. Most of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Over the past few years, you even learned some of their scientific names. The collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell for all of them. Your voice faltered a little bit, but you kept going as best as you could. I want her to be shy, but not too shy. Like, maybe she could be like a shy and they'd be like, yo, I can talk your ear off, baby. That's how she can be. Talk your ear off. I'm not too sure. Let's do this one. Over the past few years, you've even learned some of their scientific names. You had a whole picture book dedicated to different shells and sea life you learned by flipping through its pages. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or by the shells themselves, Cove listened with what looked like the full force of his attention. It was a new experience to be the center of such dedicated focus. But Cove hadn't been mean to you, so you didn't mind. You smiled at him every now and then while showing him your collection. Kids, come down to the living room. I'm just changing the parents' voices. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mommy wasn't giving much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guessed it was because you found each other by accident, and a parent didn't make it happen. Mr. Holden must be right telling Cove his dad was part of... Wait. What? Mr. Holden must be right that telling Cove his dad was part of that would be a bad idea. Good thing we didn't take the money and we ran off screaming. Before you knew it, you'd both been escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room waiting for Shiloh's visit. The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I bought a box of seashells. I wanted to keep looking at them. Great. Okay, be careful. Great. Bust it open. We can keep looking while we wait for Shiloh. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken out loud yet, he turned it to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this one's the best of them. Oh my gosh. You can take it. That's my favorite too. I like a different one best. I can show it to you. That's my favorite too. You can take it. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure, you like it a lot, right? Uh-huh, but I don't want to take it away from you. It's okay. You got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. You insisted. Take it! No, it's okay. For you. You pushed the shell against Cove's chest, willing him to receive the present. But Cove firmly shook his head and kept his arms tightly to his side. What face are you making, sir? It was a battle you couldn't win. At least not today. Cove was your neighbor now. Maybe you can give it to him another time. The two of you were still sitting on the floor looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, he figured it was probably Shiloh. He knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove any feel better. Oh my god. English. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell what he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. I'm sorry, there's nowhere to go. He's at our only door, and if you go upstairs, he'll find you. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it, scrambling to think of something to say. You stepped forward, then paused. Do you want to break your other arm? Shiloh's the least scary person alive. I think Shiloh's a dog. Let's be blunt. Like, dude, you're gonna break your other arm. Even I don't jump out any windows here. This is my house. The distance from the floor, living room, window wasn't far, but you could tell it made Cove nervous anyway. He touched the cast on his arm. The wind had clearly released from his sails. I don't want to break any more bones. I don't think anyone wants to. Yeah. But I don't want to see him. I don't know him. You comforted him. You encouraged him. You teased him. Let's comfort him. You're right. Meeting new people is really hard. I'm sorry. Thanks. Shiloh poked his head into the living room. It's impossible to know for sure he had heard what you've been saying or not, but you guess he has. Oh my god, this is Shiloh. Okay, Shiloh is not a dog. I'm very, very disappointed that Shiloh isn't a dog. How old is our sister? That'd be like an older kid. Like teenager-wise. Hi, Gray. And hi, Cove. Cove shot you an uneasy glance. Hi? Hi. I'm Shiloh. Nice to meet you. Yeah. You have a lot of freckles. Right, I do. What are you guys doing? We're looking at shells.
Can I do it too?
Oh, it's so adorable. That's such a cute name, Shiloh. Isn't that a book of a childhood book? Awesome. Can I do it? Oh, you already said that. Cove shrugged and looked back at your box full of beach findings. What about that one? The plan... Isn't this our sister's friend? Why is he hanging out with us? He doesn't have no reason to be here. He can hang out in another room. He can hang out with our sister. The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach thing some more. You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else, especially since if Cove was having fun. He held out a recent find to Cove, a scallop shell that had washed up on shore. It's a pretty color, kind of like my cast. Oh, that's Cove. The beautiful glittering pink did not look a little bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice color. Okay. Cove was like, pink is no longer my color.
Huh?
Is it your favorite? Not really. What is? Maybe green or blue. It might be yellow. Oh, those are cool too.
I guess.
Like usual, it didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't know what to do with himself. Then where is Lizzie? I just burped. But then where is Lizzie? Huh? Where is she? Where is Lizzie? And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? Don't know.
Aw.
Where'd she go? I think she's at the beach, probably. Is she playing at her park? Sorry, I totally didn't mean... I forgot to read that line. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before you had even answered, and Shiloh jumped up beside him with excitement. Really? You do too? Right, Gray? The park is fun. The park is pretty great. We're not gonna say no. We're just gonna go along with it. Yeah, it's right at the beach, so there's lots of fun stuff to do and lots of sand. It has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. That sounds like it would be cool. So, are we going to find Lizzie? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just want to check out the park. Adrift without any direction, Shiloh finally turned to you. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. The three amigos. After getting permission from your moms, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced her moms that it was so short she would always allowed to walk there by herself. I'm about to choke on myself. How did I know it was coming? My God. Where's liquid? Oh my God. Okay. When you found her, she was hanging out at the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Is Lizzie... What's she gonna look like? Hey, Lizzie. Oh, that's neat. Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Gray! Shiloh! Hi! She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Shiloh had abandoned you two and scrambled over to the sand by her. How has her friend come over to the house and she's not there? Does she invite her friend over and just like not show up? You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove was here. You wondered if he would leave too. This is Lizzie? Oh my God, she looks like a drama queen. Yeah, but definitely she looks like a drama queen. What voice should I give her? Who's that? Wait, does that make me sound nasally? Wait. Who's that? That probably made no difference. I'm always nasally. It's Cove. He's new.
Hi.
I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together. She gestured widely with her arms as if she would present the area to a newcomer. My English isn't too good. Without interrupting Lizzie's speech, Cove whispered something in your ear. Quiet enough the others wouldn't be overhear. I thought kids couldn't own places like parks or hills. You couldn't help but laugh a tiny bit. While Lizzie continued talking, you took a chance to kick off your shoes and wiggle your toes through the warm sand. Nice, huh? This whole neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas. You are? Yeah, I am. Who else could handle the job? Lizzie is the oldest. By what? 6 months? By a lot. My mom said you're Gray's age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits. She's 10. What about the other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shiloh's just visiting from another place. Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of the ancients. Better be careful that oldies don't try to steal your youth.
Oh.
Wow, that's sad. Imagine being friends with this chick. For a second, it looked like he might cry again. Yeah, because you're stuck with this chick. And me. But something in his eyes shifted, and he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like moms and dads or grandparents? Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids. Why? We haven't done anything. Only some of them don't like kids. Stop saying stuff like that. You're gonna upset him. Yeah, they're really bad. Let's tell her to stop saying stuff like that. You're gonna upset him. You interjected quickly, hoping Cove wouldn't start crying again. He sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Shiloh was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. Shiloh's an idiot. I met Lizzie and Gray in school. You see tons of kids there once summer is over. I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. Shiloh looked down into the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up a conversation with Cove. Why are you blushing? Cody, what are you doing? You scared me, Cody. How'd you get up? Oh. Okay. I like summer vacation a lot too. All the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Shiloh's discomfort at how weird she thought Cove was, and something was entirely you really didn't know. But she laughed, face scrunching up.
Okay.
Welcome to Summer Bird Cove. Take a seat and put your feet up and get used to it. You offer him a small smile that at least looked to reassure him some. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than Shiloh, and on some days, when she was in a bad mood or busy, you saw him more than Lizzie. He became a staple of your everyday life. The way sun and lunch and the beach were. Cody's drinking his water. He's thirsty. During your first summer together, you really liked Cove. He was a fun person to play with, and he seemed like to be playing, and he was a fun person to play with, and he seemed to like playing with you too. Of course, that was only the start of things. What? Oh, there's a lot of DLC stuff. Oh, wait, you can only select a few moments? Hey, it's editing. I'm KitKat here, and I just realized that my dog Cody is still drinking his water. He does not stop. That boy was thirsty. So I'm really sorry about that. What does this mean? I don't know what this means. Well, let's end it here. I was gonna do like a full episode and then wrap up summer, but let's next episode, let's just take a look at each moment. I'm still editing, and I can't believe that he is still drinking his water. You can take it and look at each moment. I think. I know I said I paid attention to the tutorial, but I did not listen to the tutorial. I kind of skipped through it. It was very long, a lot of reading, and I'm a visual person. I like to read, but not that stuff. So we're just gonna wrap it up here, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. I am KitKat signing out.